Hey, it's been a while, but what's a year or two amongst friends, you know? I'm back in Texas now. Should be doing more videos like this once every week or two. Trying to squeeze that in with all of my book stuff that I got going on. Let's talk about memory, particularly selective memory. I watched two guys the other day on TV and they were arguing about something, and one guy said he didn't like the other guy's point clearly, so he said, "Sir, I think you're using selective memory to make your argument." And I said, well, you know, that kind of makes sense, you know, and I just, you know how you hear things and you just go along with it? Then I got to thinking, wait a minute, don't we all use selective memory? Isn't that the whole point of not just saying everything that you've ever remembered? Really, he should have been saying, it's like you're using selective forgetting. So anyway, when this guy used selective memory, it was like the hammer of Thor had been brought down. You know, like he'd club the guy over the head with it. It was like the ultimate nerd insult. And I thought, okay, well, that's pretty intense, so maybe I need to think about that a little bit more. Like in most situations in my life, I did overthink it. I began mulling it over, because I'm a big muller, and then and then I got to thinking that we all use selective memory at all times, every day. So really, like, if I say to somebody during the course of an argument, hey man, you're doing something that all people at all times do at every moment. I'm not saying anything. It's like saying, hey man, you're breathing air, or hey man, you know, you have to eat to sustain life. I mean, it's completely useless. So nerd guy, the alpha nerd, should have actually felt like totally stupid, but the other guy was overwhelmed, as I was, by the use of the term selective memory. Really, I think the term selective forgetting makes more sense, because, you know, I could be splitting hairs here, but I mean, you're having to push out a bunch of stuff here and there just to get out your main point. You know, you gotta sift through the wreckage, which is our brains, right? Really, it would have been better if the one guy had said to the other, if he wanted to get his point across, that he was just being an a-hole. To me, that would have got more to the point. This is what we do here. We talk about words, okay? It's TylerHasWords.com. Check it out. Like, it's been a blog for longer than most of you have been alive. But this is memory, and this is why memory's always kind of been fascinating to me. Memory is, and it's what life is. It's what we choose to remember, but it's also what we can't help but remember. And I think when we talk about, you know, the story of life and how we go through it, it makes up, this conundrum makes up about 74% of it, and I think that's backed up by all the scientific data. One thing I'll warn against is trying to over-remember. I see a lot of people trying to do this. They take like memory courses and all this kind of nonsense. This will trip you up, I think, more than it'll help you. It'll overstimulate your brain, oversaturate your brain, overwhelm your senses, overheat your face. It might even cause some intestinal blockage. You could get overstressed, overriled, a lot of overs. Just think about it. We all know so much. I mean, like, maybe you don't even think of yourself as like intellectual or knowledgeable, but you still know so much. You've done so much. But we can't know it all at every moment. So you got to be selective. Or you got to be selectively forgetful. Whatever you want to call it. I think the main thing is just to trust yourself. Man, that's what we're about here. I think beauty and art, like a great story, will you start to feel things, but really what you're doing is what you're watching or you're listening to is evoking memory. You're not controlling it, though. You're letting it control you, and maybe you're controlling it a little bit, but it's kind of this it's this process that is kind of working itself out. So like when you see a great, you know, wonderful piece of art, or you see a great movie or a wonderful story or a great book, you're in it, you're feeling things because you've lived, but you're also feeling things because you're trying to remember, like, oh wait, did that feel like that when that happened to me? So it's a very interactive, kind of organic thing, and I think that might be what's really special about art and beauty and stuff like that. But I don't know. Frankly, I can't remember. All right. We'll see you in a week or two. Cheers, and see you after.